So I have finally reached my 100th film of the year, and that movie is Hell House LLC Lineage. This is the final movie in the franchise. The last movie was Origins. I think that was Hell House 4. Very interesting franchise. It is a lot to kind of dive into as far as the lore and how all the movies kind of connect. But also, I feel like you can kind of jump in whenever with these movies. But I will highly recommend always to watch the first movie and kind of decide if you want to go from there. I do think the first film is really hard for them to top. You know what I'm saying? I really enjoyed Origins. I thought that was kind of, I would say, the second movie that I enjoyed the most out of the franchise. It definitely went off the rails with like 3 and stuff like that. But anyways, to kind of give you my thoughts on this final movie, was it a satisfying finale? I'm going to be straight up with you. No, it really wasn't. So this movie is following Vanessa. She was in Hell House 3 and probably another one, but I think she is from Hell House 3 if I'm remembering that correctly. And she's dealing with the aftermath of those events of dying, being resurrected, constantly seeing the clown. And I will say the most consistent thing in all of these movies is the clowns, or the clown, and how they utilize that in each movie in a different way. In this one, I will say there was some clever scares. There are some really repetitive things, like you hear his footsteps. That got kind of really old and kind of played out very early in the film. I was just like, okay, that was cool the first time, but you constantly trying to do this trick of trying to scare me with footsteps is just not really working. There are moments in this movie where there are really good moments of tension, or just kind of gets under your skin a bit. But the story is where it kind of really lacks and makes me feel like, what is really the point in this? I understand like it connects to things, but it makes me feel like I don't feel like this was really necessary. One, because this movie really goes away from the found footage style that really made this franchise special. You know, I appreciate them trying to do a more traditional style, but I feel like it doesn't really work for this particular movie. It's like you were to take the VHS movies and make them like into traditional movies, if that makes sense, and you take them out of their element. That's kind of where this movie kind of loses me as a whole. The main character that plays Vanessa, I think she does a good enough job, but it doesn't help that the fact that the story and the plot is really weak, and how you figure out how everything is connected to just what's been going on with the Carmichaels and why people are being targeted. It's just like, man, Final Destination did this way better, and they're like 7 movies deep into their franchise. And if you know how that kind of went down, if you've seen that movie, you can kind of get the gist of what they were doing with this, you know, as far as why are certain people being targeted and how it all connects to the grander story of things. And it has a very abrupt ending, which it just makes me scratch my head. It's like, is this truly the last Hell House movie? Are they going to do more? I'm surprised they didn't just do a series. I think a series would have worked better. You could have done that on Shudder. They did that with the creep tapes and whatnot. I think that would have worked with Hell House in a way. But just Similar to the Saw series, I feel like there should have only just been one Hell House movie. Looking at it, even though I do like the lore and everything, I just feel like some of the movies just kind of go a little too over the top, or just don't do a really good job of, explaining what's going on and how everything is connected. It's not well executed, and that's unfortunate because I do like this franchise for the most part. But like I said, I'm be surprised to see other people's reaction when this movie comes out on Shudder and more people get to see it, how they compare it to other Hell House movies, to Origins, to 1, to 2, to 3. To me, I feel like this was pretty damn weak, to be honest. It's very generic in a lot of ways, too repetitive, not enough clever, just kills. That's another thing that pissed me off about this movie. Is just like every kill that happens is like off screen. I'm just like, why is this even like rated R at this point? Like there's like one kill that you see on screen. I was just like, that's so frustrating. Now the more I think about it, the more I just don't like this movie even more. I hate when horror movies do that in general, especially when, but anyways, I know they're trying to focus more on the psychological stuff, but damn, at least give us some carnage, give us some gore. But anyways, let me know how you guys feel about it in the comments below. Where does this rank amongst the other Hell House movies for you? Is it the way bottom? Is it in the middle? Is it your favorite entry thus far? Let me know. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.